The broke truck driver's secret billion-dollar test. Dating when you're worth $80 million. It's complicated. You constantly wonder, does she love me? Or the lifestyle? So, when I met Jenna at a roadside diner in Ohio, I didn't tell her I owned the entire logistics fleet parked outside. I told her I was just a driver, living paycheck to paycheck. For 6 months, I committed to the bit. I wore thrift store flannels, drove a beat-up sedan, and complained about management constantly. Jenna was a waitress, working double shifts just to make rent. She was real, grounded, but I had to be sure. So I dropped the bomb. I showed up at her trailer one rainy Tuesday, soaking wet, and told her, I lost the job. They took the truck. I have nothing. I watched her eyes, waiting for the disappointment, waiting for her to realize I was now a liability. Instead, she just sighed, grabbed a towel, and said, well, I make great tips on Fridays. We'll figure it out. I've got soup on the stove. She didn't ask about money. She didn't panic. She just made space for me. That night, eating her homemade chili, I felt like the biggest fraud on the planet. The guilt was eating me alive. 2 weeks later, I couldn't take it. I drove her to the private airfield where my jet was waiting. I stopped the car, turned to her, and confessed everything. The company, the fortune, the lie. I braced myself for her anger, but she didn't yell. She didn't even look surprised. She just started laughing. Caleb, she said, wiping a tear from her eye. You think I didn't know? I stared at her. How? She smirked. On our third date, you ordered a $500 bottle of wine without looking at the price. And you have the hands of a pianist, not a trucker. I knew you weren't broke. I was speechless. Then, why did you stay? Why did you let me pretend? She took my hand and squeezed it. Because I wanted to know if you could handle being nobody. I needed to see if you would treat a waitress with respect, even when you thought you had nothing to offer but yourself. You passed Caleb. I thought I was testing her, but turns out she was the one testing me. We got married last spring. She still makes that chili, but now we eat it on our own private island. And honestly, it tastes even better. For more videos, subscribe now.